Hello, it's January 3rd, 2022, and we started, it's a sidecar
2023.
working group, 2023, yes, and we started this meeting very late because I was late. I'm sorry about it. But nevertheless, we're trying to flesh out what's left in this cap and trying to understand game plan for the next few days, I think, maybe months. At least for cap closing. And we started looking into open questions. So we said that we have a document that we need to fill out. It's a cap document that will transform to Markdown after you fill it up here. And we're looking through open questions now. So this scenario seems to be important. I got a few indications that this is an important scenario because it's impossible to implement outside of kubelet, so nobody can like code it somehow nicely. So this may be important scenario, but also John Howard from Istio team, he said that I mean, do something. Like this is not as critical as just having sidecars. So yeah, that's I mean, it's edge case scenario, and I think we need to think about it very carefully from a get-go, from the beginning. That's why we will probably spend more time on that. Handling backward compatibility. So I discussed backward compatibility with SIG scheduling a little bit, and I mean, whatever we will come up with will require some changes on scheduling size and like controller side. We can like if controllers like external controllers written in such a way that they are not they will not fail on new fields being added, then it will be really hard to make them aware of it outside of like just them. They need to understand that new field came up and situation changed, and now scheduling needs to be changed as well. So yeah, I think there is no good answer. That's why probably don't need to spend too much time. We just say that this is a new field. It needs to be treated very differently. We of course needs to look at a few edge cases like this item that team suggested. We need to understand what the side effects will be if customers using it, like users use this field incorrectly or try to intentionally or unintentionally break something in kubelet. So what if they will put this field on by mistake on one of the existing init containers, so do something of that sort, or how they can break kubelet by setting very high graceful termination period and then like I don't know, terminating their sidecar over and over again and like cause some sort of resource starvation or anything like that. I'm just like brainstorming right now. It's just brain dump. But yeah, we need to think about the scenarios. Resource managers, topology managers. I think from early conversation with Francesco last meeting and Swati, I think we good on this front. So nothing's supposed to be broken. It just changes needed to be applied to CPU and topology manager. But other than that, it should be okay generally. I still waiting for final confirmation. We discussed it very late in December, and we just need to double check that it's indeed we'll have no issues with this topology managers. Yeah, and the SIG scheduling was fine with what you're proposing, and the only thing they recommended is to combine somehow codes that calculates needed resources. Like when you calculate resources needed for pod, you will need to calculate like logic may be very straightforward. You can either take maximum of all init containers requests and limits, and sum of all requests and limits of regular containers, and then take maximum of these two. Or alternatively, we can calculate, but with like with sidecar containers, we now need to add all the sidecar containers to all the regular containers as well. the trick here is sidecars containers defined later. So if there is a very heavy init container that runs before sidecar containers, then its requests and limits not necessarily needs to be combined with requests and limits of sidecar containers, because this container will finish before sidecar containers will start. So we need to calculate this running maximum of all init containers to understand how much init containers will be consuming in terms of requests and limits.
But I thought init containers run sequentially, no?
Yeah, but before we just took maximum of all requests and limits of init containers. Now we need to add sidecar requests and limits to all the init containers as well, because they will be running together with init containers. But
yes, okay, right. Yes.
But you only need to add those resources to init containers that run after sidecar was initialized. And that's where like a little bit tricky logic comes into play. I mean, it's not tricky, it's very straightforward. It just need to be carefully coded and tested. That's why SIG scheduling is saying, like, if you do something like that, do it in both places at the same time. So there wouldn't be situations when we have one logic in scheduler and another logic in pod admission, and they don't match to each other. So, yeah, that's open questions. I think questions about score calculation came up again. So since since sidecar containers needs to be running all the time, we want to minimize number of times they're killed by killer. That's why we probably need to adjust how we calculate score for sidecar containers. Today, sidecar containers typically have very little resources requested. I mean, comparing to regular containers, and that's why they will be very they'll have very low score. I think low or high score. Yeah, high score is bad. So they will have high score adjustment. So I think it's most of the time it will be 999. So it's a maximum score possible. And with this score, killer will literally just kill them right away all the time. And this is not ideal because we want these containers to run through the life cycle of regular containers. So probably they need to share the same score adjustment together, at least to be fair. And another question that came up again is backoff. What is progressive backoff? Timeout. So this question again in one of the documents from Joe, we discussed it there, and I think we left this question there. It's already updated. Haven't seen this update yet, but yeah, this one was one of the open questions here. So today we will, once sidecars terminated one way or another, they will be restarted with backoff timeout. So it will be very short initially, but then growing all the way to 5 minutes. And that may be problematic if all regular containers need sidecar containers, then it may be problematic that they are not active for that long of a time when they were killed by mistake or somehow. But the same other way, like it's also problematic when we keep restarting something that will never start. So it's broken to no extent. So we waste a lot of resources just to restart it over and over again. So it's we need to decide what's the best position here. The worst part is there is no control over. So even if customers wants to control it somehow, there is no way to control back of timeout. It's hard coded today. So if they know that there are situations when sidecar may crash and it needs to be restarted right away, let's say it's a metrics thingy and it has a big cache that sometimes grows out of limits, and developer knows about it, and then they just want to restart it over and over again, and it typically helps them. Then progressive back of timeout may not be ideal for them. Maybe they know that it will recover sometime. Anyway, there's another question that we need to answer. That an answer maybe is that we can come back to this question later, because progressive back of timeout configuration is a requested feature. Maybe we need to have this feature a separate cap for all the containers. Yeah. Okay. So I think what we can do is to finish up this write-up with some of these questions still open, and keep answering these questions. Some like this question is, I think Joe is working on that one. I will double check that he's on task, and we can double check with Francesca and Swati if they can help with this to completely double check that it's indeed would not be a problem. Backward compatibility, I think we need to have API review with somebody, but I think this API review may only happen after we completed the write-up. So once we have a write-up, we can go to API review and like review with more people. Yeah, I think that's all I want to discuss this meeting. And just refresh the memory, like come back to work mood, and get back together. And sorry, I'm late. I think we missed a lot of people because of that. At least Sunny.
Yeah, I think it's next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
How long? We got a mail about 127. When is the cap closing?
It's February sometime.
Yeah, the 9th of February.
Okay, I'm stopping recording now.